Welcome, everyone, to the L7C Podcast College Football Edition. Today, we're going to be talking about those Ohio State Buckeyes who played against Youngstown State over the weekend. We got the college football crew. We got Cedric and Byron with us. How are you guys doing today?
I am doing good today. No complaints. No complaints.
I'm doing all right. Can't complain. It's Tuesday. Making our way through the week.
That's what's
Yes,
up.
sir.
That's what's up. Well, Byron, you already know we played Youngstown State, the Trestle Bowl, as people were calling it, because obviously Trestle was here at Ohio State for 10 years, brought us a national championship, and he was president of Youngstown State, just retired, was rocking a vest with both emblems on it. So, Byron, take it away, man.
Well, first off, Ohio State got that W. A few stats for you all. Kyle McCord, 14 for 20, 258 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Devin Brown, 7 for 13, 101 yards. He did have a fumble, but we were able to recover it. Travion Henderson, 5 carries, 56 yards, 2 touchdowns. Maya Williams, 6 carries, 25 yards, no touchdowns. And Chip Trainum, 6 carries, 20 yards, no touchdowns. Marvin Harrison Jr., 7 receptions, 160 yards, 2 touchdowns. Emeka Ibuka, 5 receptions, 94 yards, 1 touchdown. Julian Fleming, 3 receptions, 25 yards, no touchdowns. Our defense had 2 sacks. Denzel Burke had 1 interception, which is like the first interception by a cornerback since 2021, which is a wild stat. But overall, I did like our offense was able to get touchdowns on incomplete drives. We got Marvin and Emeka involved more. And of course, one of our CBs finally got an interception.
Cedric, what did you like about the game, didn't like about the game? How do you feel about that crazy stat that Byron just said that it was the first cornerback interception in 2 years?
Good job, Denzel Burke. I got nothing really truly negative to say. He actually played really great coverage all game. Granted, don't let it go to your head. It's fucking Youngstown State. Like, I'll be happy if you could do that against some other top tier opponents. If you did that against Notre Dame, that'd be fucking dope. Biggest things I love the most, Byron mentioned it and kind of hit it on the head initially with getting Harrison and Ibuka further involved and kind of solidifying that. Unlike a lot of my fellow Buckeye fans who did not enjoy Kyle McCord's performance,
We'll get to that later.
I'll say, I thought he did fine. That was one of the things I mentioned in the last pod was I want to see him kind of get more comfortable in throwing the ball. Let's try to get some good passes. We have a talented receiving core. I think he did just that. I think it was a kind of a mission accomplished type of situation against the Youngstown State defense. Outside of that, I mean, do I wish we scored more? Sure. But I think for a second start, throwing the ball, our offense seemed to have its way and didn't really have much difficulties with them. So I have no complaints on that.
Joining us in the head producer of the L7C, the NFL expert, Justin Ackendale. Do you have anything you want to add to the Buckeyes Youngstown State game?
Y'all niggas couldn't wait for me for real.
We run a tight ship here. 8 p.m.'s 8 p.m., man.
You knew I was going to be on here. What the fuck, man?
That's how we stay on track.
Whatever. Ohio State was fine. I mean, I heard you guys saying you didn't like Kyle McCord's performance. I think he's a better
did
quarterback.
like his performance.
He's talking about the fandom.
I think he's the guy. I'm not sure. First of all, you can't trust a quarterback wearing 33. Second of all, Kyle McCord looks like your typical pocket passer. He's going to be the one who's not going to do too much to fuck the game up. All he needs to do is stand back there and get to the loaded weapons that OSU has. So I personally think Kyle McCord should be the quarterback, and I hope that they figure out who's starting before the Notre Dame game.
Byron actually
has this switchy shit.
Byron actually has news on that. Go ahead, Byron.
Yeah, it came out today that Ryan Day officially announced Kyle McCord as the starter going forward. So we're not going to do that to quarterback shit.
Damn, he said with an expletive. Or shit.
No, I don't have anything to add that all of you guys have said. The only thing I would say is I think both of our lines, the offensive and defensive lines, are still a work in progress. The fact that we are not getting pressure to the past two quarterbacks we've played against is not good. We've had we had 2 sacks that whole game. Western Kentucky throws the ball more, so we should be able to get a lot more sacks. And then the offensive line, they still need to impose their will better. Like, we should also be getting 100-yard rushers because this week's the last dress rehearsal. So we'll really see how good this team is in 2 weeks. But with that being said, going around the college football landscape, there was 2 big stories. I'll start with the early day one. Colorado versus Nebraska. Dion, 2-0. 2-0. Justin, how are you feeling about the Colorado? Dion, his son, saying it was personal rivalry game, first home game. Like, how do you feel about Colorado right now?
You know that I feel pretty good about them. I mean, they got Colorado State, and then we'll see what the fuck they really about with Oregon and USC back to back. But yeah, the only thing that I really learned from that game is that Nebraska's fucking horrible. I mean, Jeff Sims shouldn't be starting quarterback. I mean, the real story with me is how bad Nebraska is. Because I was on them. I had Nebraska +3, and you know I'm gonna stop fading Colorado until those matchups start.
Cedric, what are your thoughts on now Colorado going 2-0, already eclipsing their win total of last year and already close to what Vegas said they were going to win? They had them at 3 games.
And you heard Dion before that. We don't lose at home. We only lose at our house. Honestly, I watched a good amount of the beginning of the game that is like was flipping back and forth between that game and OSU. But I thought they were struggling and they got it together. I mean, they made it work. So again, like Justin said, we'll see kind of what they do these next couple of weeks because I mean, Nebraska is kind of shit. So we'll see what's going on. I'm going to keep an eye on them because they are interesting football and they're fun to watch. So,
Byron, anything you want to add on?
No, congratulations to Coach Brian for being 2-0. Probably be 3-0 after Colorado State, and then the real Pac-12 slate begins.
That's true. That is true. Colorado, 3 straight game day type things. Big noon kickoff. The first 2 games, college game day this Saturday. First Colorado State. The Dion effect, having Wu-Tang Clan coming to the games and all that. But the main event of the evening and the whole weekend, last year's rematch, Texas, Alabama, Texas coming down to Tuscaloosa. And Texas, Quinn Ewers, fully healthy, played this game, best game of his college career. They pull off the win, 34-24. Put it in historical perspective, this is the biggest home loss in Nick Saban's Alabama career. And going back, this is his biggest home loss in college-wise since 2003. Endpoints. So, Byron, what did you think about Texas's win over Alabama? And you already penciled Texas into the playoffs like everyone else so far?
No, I haven't penciled Texas into the playoffs, but congratulations to Texas, man. I picked them on the podcast that they would win, and they didn't embarrass me like Clemson did that first game. Like you said, they beat them 34-24. Quinn Ewers, 24 for 38, 349 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 1 fumble, but it was recovered. Their tight end, Javion Sanders, is a beast. 5 receptions, 114 yards. He didn't have any touchdowns. The touchdowns went to Adonai Mitchell and Xavier Worthy. Texas defense had 5 sacks and 2 interceptions on Jalen Monroe. So they were giving Bama the business on defense. Jalen Milrow, 14 for 27, 255 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. At one point, I thought Bama actually was going to come back and win because they did have that long ass touchdown, but then when yours came back and led them down, scored. It was a good game. It was very exciting to watch.
Well, Justin, what are your thoughts on the Texas winning in Tuscaloosa?
Huge win for Texas. Going into Tuscaloosa at night. Alabama hasn't lost there in fucking years like that. Just a great win by them, but let's not go overboard with Texas. I mean, let's remember the game was 16-3 Alabama. 16-13 Alabama going to the fourth quarter. And then Texas scores a touchdown. Then Mero throws a pick in Texas territory. Then that's where the game starts getting out of hand. But you could easily see watching the game that Texas had the better quarterback. Yours was definitely better than Monroe, way more comfortable. The Texas offensive line played a lot better than Alabama's offensive line. Texas was in the backfield the entire game. Monroe had no time. But I mean, Monroe, there was a couple passes where there were good passes. I mean, he had a couple D shots in the game, but yeah, he just didn't seem comfortable back there with Texas line just pinning back on him. And then Quinn Ewers was just excellent, surgical, did what he had to do to get the game done. But I don't want to overreact to this game because I still think if Alabama can get some of the, little things like they had a bunch of back-breaking penalties that really killed their momentum and things like that. If they can get that together and Monroe can pass the ball a little bit better, I mean, Alabama's future's right in we can still be talking about Alabama in the playoffs. So this loss is tough for them, but they can definitely come back from it.
Yeah, I think it was Nick Saban's most penalized game ever. So that's also crazy. Cedric, any other thoughts on Texas and Alabama before we talk about a little what Justin just said about the overreactions that have been going around the country with this game?
Nick Saban ain't have enough money, and Texas whooped that ass. That's all I have to say.
Fair enough. So Texas jumped all the way to 4. They went up 11 spots in the AP poll, and Alabama dropped to 10. So they dropped 7 spots. So Texas winning in the main event of the evening has spurred a lot of national things. I joked with Byron about penciling Texas into the playoffs because a lot of people now, talking heads, have started to pencil Texas in because they have the marquee win, and the rest of their schedule is not great. They got to go. They have Oklahoma in October, Kansas State, and then obviously they got the Big 12 championship game. And then a lot of people are writing off Alabama, saying that it's going to be a tough year for them. But like Justin said, they lost this tough out-of-conference game, but the rest of their season is still in front of them. Don't count on Alabama. If they go undefeated the rest of the way, which means they'd win the SEC championship game, they're still going to get in the playoff. That's a hard if because I don't know if anyone's beating Georgia, but like Justin said, their season's still there.
Alabama's not beating Georgia the way they played on Saturday, but they can. They got the talent. I'm a little worried about outside at receiver, but other than that, they still got talent everywhere. And the O-line did concern me a little bit. And I know Georgia has a way better front than Texas does, but Texas has a couple NFL guys on that front too.
Byron, you've been hearing all the talk. What are your thoughts on people saying Texas, they can hold on for the playoffs? Bama's done this year. What are your thoughts? Off week 2.
It's a very impressive win by Texas. I'm not going to count them out and say that's not. But, I mean, it's Texas. Like, eventually, Texas is going to Texas. They'll lose a game that they're supposed to win. Like, history. Until they can change their history, I am not putting them in playoffs. I mean, they could win the Big 12, sure, but I don't know if that'll be high enough to make it to the playoffs.
Well, they think if they get one loss, they'll win the Big 12. And some people think they're just going to win all the way and not lose a game.
I mean, Oklahoma's a very tough place Actually, Oklahoma goes to them, but Oklahoma will be tough. Kansas
Well, usually
State will
that
be
game's
tough.
game's
they play that game at a neutral
neutral
site.
site, Red
Oh,
River
okay.
rivalry. Yep.
Okay. And then TCU, I mean, TCU could bounce back after that loss against Colorado.
The only potential LIC is Kansas State. Kansas State's good.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they won the Big 12 championship last year. So
Actually picked them to win the Big 12 this year, so we'll see.
Cedric, what are your thoughts on the overreaction of the Texas-Alabama game, of Texas auto in the playoffs, Alabama done, and the Cardinals sin of counting out Alabama in week 2?
I think it's honestly laughable that we're in week 2 of college football and we're sitting here talking about the college football playoff already. Like, there's so much football still to be had. There's so many teams and stuff to play each other. I mean, we were not even past like this month, and there's a ton of major matchups on the 23rd coming up.
Week
And
4.
we're sitting here talking about Texas winning. Again, huge win. But no, that's ridiculous, honestly, to sit here and say they're going to be in the college football playoff right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. But now they got real expectations now. That's all I'll say, because now they're in the top 4, so there'll be more eyes on them. And don't count out Saban. Do not. The playoffs don't get the first rankings don't get revealed till after Halloween anyway. And like Cedric said, next week when we're on and we're reviewing week 4, then there's some people's seasons on the line. So, with Quinn Ewers playing fantastic, the crazy Buckeye fans come out, A, claiming Quinn Ewers when he didn't play really a down here, and B, saying they wish Quinn Ewers was on the team and they wish he was the starting quarterback. And before I toss it to you guys, I just want to educate some people that when Quinn Ewers was here, he wasn't just the backup to CJ Stroud. He was also the backup to Kyle McCord, the guy that people don't like. So he was already the third string. So just a tad bit of information for people out there thinking he was just going to win the job over Kyle if he showed up. Byron, you love the Ohio State fandom. What were your thoughts on them claiming Quinn and them just starting to hate Kyle in week 2? CJ Stroud all over again.
I understand why people hate Buckeye fans after the tweets I've seen about how Quinn Ewers should come back to Ohio State and start. Like, Kyle McCord had a 71-yard touchdown to Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, I don't know how you count that out and say, hey, Quinn Ewers should start over Kyle McCord. I think it's dumb. Kyle McCord is coming into his own. He had a very good game. And I think can only go up from here. Now, if he goes down, I mean, we'll start Devin Brown, but I am okay with Kyle McCord. I don't think Quinn Ewers should come back and start for us because Kyle McCord has a relationship with Marvin Harrison Jr. Like I said, 7 receptions, 160 yards, and 2 touchdowns is great. So I'm here for Kyle McCord.
Well, yeah, it's impossible for him to come back. It's just the fact that people would even entertain that notion. Cedric, I know you were laughing about the Buckeye fandom. What are your thoughts?
Shit never ceases to amaze me, man. Like, we're 2-0. The quarterback, while his first starts these last 2 weeks, has been playing well, right? Like, we've gotten to win. Like, sure, first game back, a little shaky. Second game, more solidified, actually getting completions, getting touchdown receptions. Like, it's just it's laughable to me that people want to live in the past. I understand that the way Texas played that game and yours had an amazing performance, how Buckeye fandom could think of the past and like, oh, that could be us type of situation, that FOMO effect or whatever. But at the same time, it's like they make it sound as if like things are bad this way. Like as if like, oh, it's not like we're like losing games or something like that. It's not like we're just barely beating Youngstown State. Like it's one of those things where it's like we literally have seen this guy play 2 weeks for us, and you're already counting out or looking for something better. So just focus week by week, opponent by opponent. Like this guy is going to be fine. Like he's going to be okay. Like they did the same thing with CJ Stroud, try to rush the show, rush the highlights, and they end up looking like fucking idiots later down the line. So I just think it's just funny how fast history repeats itself.
I would also say too with Common Court, he would have actually had a lot better stats if he actually played if he didn't get
game.
yanked for Devin Brown. I mean, so. Justin, you say you're a Buckeye supporter, not a fan. What do you think of the fandom and their craziness?
Them wanting him back is patently ridiculous. Them regretting that he might have left if Texas goes to the playoff, now that is up in the air. But Kyle McCord and Quentin Ewers are essentially the same guy to me. They're both pocket guys. That throw, that 71-yard to Marvin Harrison, it wasn't on a rope like Quentin Ewers passes against Alabama. I'll at least give him that. Marvin Harrison had to like fucking twist around and get that shit. It wasn't a dart, but this is Kyle McCord's first year starting. So he could definitely grow into what Quentin Ewers is now. 2 seasons starting at Texas. So yeah, this whole conversation is ridiculous.
Going to a serious topic, Byron, you're the one who also shared this about Mel Tucker.
Wild.
It looks now. It doesn't look. You said like terminated, but it says suspended. So is he suspended?
That nigga is getting fired. They ain't trying to. They're going to fire him. They're just waiting for like some shit to clear, so they don't got to pay him. That's why he's suspended.
But Byron, you were the first.
Without pay.
You were the first one to share it, though.
Yeah, because I saw the tweet or the notification from, I think it was Bleacher Report that said, "Hey, Mel Tucker is suspended for."
The way you
like,
characterize Bleacher, hey.
I think it was for like sexual assault allegations, which is wild. I haven't read like any of the details. I just saw the tweet. I was like, well, this is important to share with the world. Because they just paid this man what, $95 million 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was so that 2021 season where he randomly went freaking 11-2 after the team went 5, that was just wild. And they went to the Peach Bowl. That was Kenneth Walker's year when he transferred over there. They gave him a 10-year, $95 million dollar contract that made him one of college football's highest paid coaches without winning a damn thing. So currently, right now, to Justin's point, he has $77 million remaining on that contract. That's guaranteed unless he is dismissed with cause.
Well, this would be a dismissal with cause.
So he's stating that he didn't do anything. There were consensual conversations. He said that the texts were consensual. She was sending him naked pictures and engaging in that stuff. You got the governor of Michigan, who's an MSU grad, disappointed in the situation, saying that Michigan State didn't dismiss him until it became public because this has been going on for a little bit.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So this investigation's been going on for months. And it just became public recently. So
that's wild.
But like Justin said, they're trying to fire him with cause because if you don't have cause, you're gonna have to pay that $77 million. Then you're gonna have to pay someone else to do the job. But I feel like this is gonna be a long thing. And this is the second Big Ten coach to go through, not sexual harassment, but I mean, Pat Fitzgerald just got fired this summer, and he's fighting that case. So
yeah,
let me give y'all some like actual like details with the story because Byron ain't really touched in on the details. So apparently, the lady that filed the complaint, she filed the complaint with the Title IX office at Michigan State, and she was a vendor for Michigan State that the team brought in. She was like a rape survivor, like an advocate for that type of stuff, and she presented to the team about consent and like all that type of shit. And then in like the complaint, which in the complaint, like it's like Mel Tucker like admitted that like he like in the complaint she said he was masturbating in front of her, in front of her, which is weird as fuck. But in the complaint he said he admitted it, but she consented to it, which is just patently wild to me. So yeah, I just wanted to add that part of it.
Jesus Christ, Mel Tucker.
Well, they gotta play. They
Yeah,
gotta.
you know all that, Byron.
I will say you gotta be careful and let it all play out. We don't want to. I mean, I'm not saying she's lying, obviously, but if it comes out,
I'm just saying he admitted to
the master, yeah,
jerking off in front of her. And, yeah, so we know that's a fact. So they're just investigating what else to fire him so he'll not pay him.
Yeah, that's strange. Cedric, anything you want? Your thoughts on this Mel Tucker stuff?
We will see what this investigation reveals.
True.
There's nothing really new to add. I think Byron and Justin pretty much covered it all.
$77 million left. That's a lot of money. But you know who else makes a lot of money? My best friend.
Oh, here we go.
That's why I came here.
Jimbo Fisher.
Oh
my guy.
Here we go.
My guy, Jimbo. They were this should be a big game if teams are actually relevant because the brand of school, Texas A&M versus the freaking U. You would think that'd be a relative game, but no one really cared. But Miami, they got the win, and not just getting the win. Texas A&M got smoked. They lost 48-33, but it felt like it was a lot worse than that. Jimbo was ranked; they were ranked 23 in the nation. Obviously, that is not happening anymore. 1-1, 0-1 on away. Van Dyke from Miami threw 5 touchdowns, 5 of them. And Texas A&M doing what they do best under Jimbo, losing games. So, obviously, the other schools are coming in. Texas, Oklahoma. A&M, it don't look like it's getting any better for them. They got to play Alabama and Tennessee back-to-back. And they play LSU. And they play Ole Miss. Justin, I know you talked about from a betting perspective, you almost wanted to take Texas A&M in that win, but then you remember who they were.
Yes, I did, and this is what Texas A&M does. We talking about 2 years ago. They talking about these motherfuckers having one of the best recruiting classes ever.
Yes,
literally one of the best recruiting classes ever. And this man has nothing to show for it.
Mm-hmm.
It is wild. I was listening to the shit today. He was blaming the fucking field at the wherever the fuck Miami plays at because multiple teams play there. So he was blaming like the paint on the logo. Just stupid shit. Like they're paying this man millions of dollars to give excuses. Essentially, it's hilarious. It's insane. And then Miami's quarterback Tyler Van Dyke. Watch out for him. He's actually good. Like he was put on a show.
Byron.
Jimbo, man, I had so much faith in you last year when you was talking all that shit about Saban. And then went in and lost. Saban, I mean, I know Texas A&M, you're paying that man a lot of money. You may want to try to find a new coach in the next couple of years if you actually want to take the program to higher relevancy because Jimbo's not it anymore.
Byron, what would you want to fire him? Because you know I got the buyout clauses right here. What year you want to fire him? And how much would you want to owe him? Tell me what year.
How much do they owe him now?
Oh, did they fire him in 2023?
Yeah.
76 million.
Dang, 76 million.
What about 2025?
2025, 58 million.
Damn.
He's solidified.
Hey, I got it all the way to 2030, baby. What number you want?
Shoot, you got to go 2027.
2027, they owe him 39 million.
They're gonna find the money way before it gets to 2027 to get rid of this motherfucker. Come on now.
If he makes it all the way
fundraise
to if you make it all the way to 2030, they'd only owe him 9 million.
He's not surviving
7 years.
He's not surviving that long.
Oh yeah, I got Jimbo Fisher's contract favorited on my computer.
I bet you do. I bet your ass does.
Oh, I mean, it's just kind of crazy because
you look at it every week too after these
key.
motherfuckers be getting smoked.
Low key. It's bad. This is how I used to look at like the Lakers roster NBA wise when Russell Westbrook and all of them. And I was like, how are the Lakers paying all these people?
he's just playing for fun. Okay.
But yeah, so Jimbo's best year, which this is what he got on Ohio State, was the COVID year, 2020. They went 9-1. They only lost to Alabama. And he was fighting for them to get in the playoffs because he didn't think Ohio State should. But we won our conference. And ever since then, he has had 4 losses, 5 losses, and 7 losses. So he is 40-22. So why the hell are you paying him 10 years, $1 billion when you were paying Kevin Sumlin significantly less, getting the same results, if not better? Kevin Sumlin at least got a goddamn Heisman winner.
That's true.
And they fired him for Jimbo because Jimbo's still living off the damn Jameis Winston national championship. And you take that national championship away from Jimbo, what has he really done?
Well,
Nothing.
Yeah, they got the Heisman. Someone had the Heisman.
And let's be honest, he ran from the ACC because he saw Dabo was taking over.
mm-hmm.
I don't think that's fair. He ran to a harder. He ran the lose to Alabama. He ran the money.
It wasn't a harder
Let's be
conference.
real.
No, it wasn't a harder conference. That's incorrect because when he went, they were in the Big 12. Then they went to the SEC. So it wasn't. He didn't know. It's just like if someone went. It's like when Lincoln Riley took the job in the Pac-12.
He didn't become the coach. He didn't become the coach until 2017. A&M was definitely in the SEC by 2017.
Let me check that.
Their first year was 2014 when Manziel was still there.
I gotta check that.
All I know is someone didn't do his homework on Manziel. That's all I'll say.
Fact.
He won him a Heisman though.
He didn't win my Heisman. Manziel won that shit by himself. You watch that doc. He ain't study. He ain't do shit. That was just pure talent.
Hey, but he got the recruits. Kevin Sumlin's the one who got Mike Evans to go there.
That's true. That's definitely true. But Manziel, I don't think you can say coaching got that man a Heisman. He did that shit off beer and ass.
Beer and ass. Jesus Christ.
He's not wrong though. He's really not wrong at all.
Beer and ass.
And lies.
And scamming the public. We thought this nigga was an oil kid.
That is true. I did. I'm not gonna lie.
I did too. He got me.
I thought his parents were rich oil people. That was embarrassing.
Just show them hoes. Huh?
I'm trying to also look up Kevin Sumlin's record because I know he's coaching somewhere too.
Oh. Where's he at? Let's see.
But whatchamacallit? But not Jimbo. I mean,
he's at Maryland.
Is he really?
Associate head coach, co-offensive coordinator.
Oh,
Kevin, tight ends coach.
Kevin Sumlin at Texas A&M was 42-16 after 58 games.
And A&M joined the SEC
in 2012. Yes, yeah. So you were right about that. And they joined the what? Justin Harder Conference when Alabama was the only team doing anything. Really?
LSU was still around too. I mean, he definitely left to join a harder conference. Come on now.
Well, LSU had 1 year with Joe Burrow. That's the same LSU team a couple years ago when they went to the national championship where they got blanked.
Okay, so he stays in the SEC and loses to Clemson, or he goes. He stays in the ACC and loses to Clemson, or he goes to the SEC and loses to Alabama. It's the same damn thing.
But why are you leaving when you're the one in charge? You were the one in charge.
Nigga, because money talks.
Well, losing talks too, Justin.
I ain't even trying to defend Jimbo, but that was a little unfair.
He's still getting money, but those donors are sitting here like, we paid this. Like someone was 42-16, and Jimbo right now is already 40-22.
Yeah, I'll say he's like 40-22.
Yeah. You pay 10 times more for almost worse results.
Well,
they did.
That's America.
They look stupid. I have no arguments against that.
But speaking of
him never leaving Florida State, I don't know. I think I would have left too if Texas A&M was throwing money at me. Sorry.
Oh man, maybe it's just me. I just don't like getting my ass whooped every day.
Dude, you don't know that Jimbo's not trying.
Well, his
Jimbo may be trying. They may not have NIL money because they're paying Jimbo.
But I don't know, man. Ever since Brian Kelly showed up his first year and won the SEC West, I've really been staring at Jimbo.
Well, listen, Brian Kelly also adopted a fake Southern accent. So
Like he
I don't know how
showed
much you want him
up.
to emulate that guy.
Okay, not to defend Jimbo even more than I already am, which I feel terrible doing this. I feel fucking horrible doing this. But the LSU situation is a little different because we are in the transfer portal era now, and that nigga Brian Kelly can bring in the whole team. Jimbo could also do that, and he hasn't. And he had the best recruiting class ever 2 years ago. So I am not defending that because he should be better, and they should not be this ass. But Brian Kelly was able to bring a brand new team into LSU.
Yeah, but if you look at all of Texas A&M's recruiting classes under this dude, they are like top of the top.
Oh yeah, I have nothing for that. That's inexcusable. He's not developing the talent. He's just not.
Now that's one. If he was in Columbus, his ass would have been gone.
If what?
If he was in Columbus, his ass would have been gone.
Oh, yeah, he would have been losing to fucking Michigan probably. Oh, absolutely.
He would have been losing to Penn State.
Bro, if not by the university, the general public would have lynched this man.
I mean, A&M before they went to the SEC just lived in Texas's shadow. Like that's pretty much what they're trying to do. They try and be better than Texas, and they haven't done it. And Texas is coming into their conference next year, and Texas is in the front runner seat to make it to the playoff this year.
You know, people forget too that it was not even just A&M. Missouri went too, which that was a waste. They suck.
Wow,
they're trash.
Mizzo Tigers.
But
I mean, that's SEC. I want to take it too and get my ass beat too. I mean,
but Justin, now you don't have to. But you don't have to go to the SEC for money now. You can anywhere with a big.
So you telling them all right? We've been losing the SEC for the past 11 years. Let's just leave and go to a shittier conference now and give up the money.
I mean, he can get Mel Tucker's money if his ass gets canned.
What?
And play in the Big 10 with the Big 20?
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, like, the college money is everywhere now with all these TV deals. Well, the ones who have them. Sorry, Pac-12 or Pac-2.
Yeah, but the Big Ten's, whatchamacallit, their TV deal was more, which means more money goes between the schools. $9 billion.
$9 billion, man. That's just crazy. That's just crazy. I don't know. Jimbo, he's weak. So what over under, Justin? How many wins Texas A&M gonna have?
You got the schedule pulled up already?
Oh, you know he does.
I found it.
You know he does.
I got it. Let's see. They'll win next week. Shit. I don't know.
I'm looking at the schedule too.
They'll beat Auburn.
They will?
They play Arkansas at home. Man, my nigga KJ Jefferson was hard. Arkansas for real. Then they got Tennessee. Then they got Alabama at home. L at Tennessee. L. They'll beat South Carolina.
They didn't last year.
Tell me they're gonna lose to 2 years in a row. Oh, at Ole Miss. Oh, we'll see. I don't know about that one either. Mississippi State, ACU. I don't even know what team that fucking is at LSU. So I see at least 4 more losses on here. So 5-loss season.
And we're talking about the SEC. 2 losses. Have you talking about is Nick Saban's legacy tarnished? 5 losses?
Yeah, you just suck.
But like you also think about who you just talked about. Though, like, isn't it? You just compared Jimbo to Nick Saban.
Hey,
Come
Jimbo,
on, now. That's not even fair.
Remember last year, Jimbo compared himself to Nick.
He did. Talking all that shit.
Listen, we don't listen to Jimbo.
I mean,
we ain't worried about Jimbo's takes.
I listen to all
shit.
his post-game interviews.
I know you do,
especially when they lose,
because you want the smoke.
I have to, bro, because Georgia shut me up, so I need to find someone else.
I know. That's what I was about to say. Like one of these times, like he gonna get somewhere, he's gonna fucking win a championship, and he's gonna say something out.
That's fine.
I'm just gonna look at you
and I'll
like,
apologize to him too. Until then,
no, the fuck you won't stop.
Until then, they suck.
I don't think we have to worry about a Georgia situation when it comes to Jimbo Fisher. And we have spent a lot of time on Jimbo Fisher. That's how you know there ain't shit going on week 3 of college football. There ain't no fucking games this weekend.
No, week 3 has no ranked opponents. It's a lot of dress rehearsals for a lot of teams.
Best game is Florida versus Tennessee.
Yeah, that's bad. But it's again, we just have to get through this week. Next week, there's seasons that are going to end next week. It's do or die for Clemson. It's do or die for Notre Dame, because for a non-power, like an independent school, they can't lose. They're playing against Ohio State. We already know we've already lost to Michigan 2 years in a row, so we're not trying to lose. Like, there's a lot of do or dies next week.
Mm-hmm.
And shit, Colorado, if they really want to prove something in week 4, Oregon, that'll put them they'll be in the top 10 if they beat Oregon.
And Texas Tech had them on the ropes.
Mm-hmm.
Texas had them.
So apologize for the listeners with that stuff, but next week, when we're previewing those games and we're making picks next week, it's going to be good. But real quickly, just 2 things. Georgia plays a actual school this week in South Carolina. How many points does Georgia win by?
30.
It's a Spur right
30?
now.
30.
I was gonna say 24.
24.
Spur is 27.5.
Jesus Christ. They still have
What's the 20?
Spencer Rattler for people who...
Where game at?
Yeah, Georgia.
30.
Yeah, I'm going to go 32.
Ohio State plays Western Kentucky this weekend. Name one thing you want to see from the Buckeyes this game besides winning.
Sacks.
Okay, good one.
100-yard rusher.
Okay. Sacks, 100-yard rusher, Justin.
I want OSU to do what USC did against Stanford, and that is score a touchdown every possession in the first half.
Oh, okay.
I want a touchdown on every possession of the first half. This is the game where they need to let the country know that this offense is not nothing to fuck with. Kyle McCord is here, Marvin Harrison Jr. is here, Trayvon Henderson here. All of them are here, and then we're gonna go into Notre Dame and see what's good.
Hey, that boy Sam Hartman in Notre Dame, he looking real nice.
It's gonna be a heavyweight matchup. It's gonna be a matchup, baby. We're gonna be in for some shit.
He looking real nice. I've already seen some of the schedule. I know that Colorado's playing Oregon at 3:30. Ohio State's playing Notre Dame at 7. Oh, it's looking powerful. Week 4.
I'm about to say Oklahoma's coming to Cincinnati that week.
Wow,
I'm gonna be outside.
Oh man! But with that being said, I mean, I want to see 2 or more interceptions. I gotta see what these corners are about to do, because Hartman really might try and put them on Front Street next week, 2 weeks from now. So.
He definitely going to try to put them on Front Street.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. With that being said, that's the L7C podcast. Thank you everyone for listening. Buckeyes 2-0. Oh, I forgot to say again, we keep the going with Ohio State, the only team to keep winning but drop in the rankings. Currently number 6, but that we're going to be a top 3 team if we beat Notre Dame in a couple weeks. So that makes sense.
Rankings don't matter.
No, they don't. Not until after Halloween. But with that being said, L7C podcast signing out. Go Bucks.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.